When I started Nomad Capitalist, my goal was to create a then blog to share all the knowledge I was gaining as I was traveling around the world and what I had been learning about all this offshore stuff. Because for so long it had been shrouded in mystery, propped up by TV and the media and movies. The idea that offshore is about hiding your money in secret accounts, dealing in fat stacks of cash. I realized that wasn't true, but it's the idea that so many people still have. And so today I'm going to answer the question, are there offshore secrets to saving tax and being free? Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson. Here at Nomad Capitalist, we actually help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs legally go where they're treated best. If you want to learn more, you can go to nomadcapitalist.com and find some of those nearly 2,000 articles that we've written over the years. You know, when I started out in business at 19, there was a much greater interest in the sex appeal of it. I was doing the work, I was picking up the phone, I was calling people. But back then, you order the business cards and that's so exciting. Or you get the Regis office and you really get excited and you want to tell everyone about your Regis office, your shared office. Now I have real offices and I barely pay any attention. I don't want a business card. I don't want any of the sex appeal. I just want to do the work, right? And there's a sort of fake it till you make it criteria. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when you're 19, 20, 21 years old, that you enjoy that part of the process. And I think many people look at the offshore world in the same way. When I first started looking at this stuff many years ago, there was a certain exoticism to it where I loved the idea of having a company based in some far-flung island. It seemed very exotic, especially, coming from the United States, having your company on some fly speck in the Indian Ocean seemed really intriguing. Or, going to Hong Kong and loving it and saying, I would love to have a bank account here, and just never really thinking about, is that what would work for me? Is that what's going to solve my problem? I think some people who get into the offshore world are doing it from the perspective of having a solution in search of a problem. The goal for me of going offshore today, having done this legally for a number of years and having experienced many of the hiccups that come with doing this stuff, are that, you want to lower your taxes. You want to protect the money that you have from inflation, from confiscation, from whatever risks it may have, just being in one place. You want to have a second citizenship to diversify yourself, maybe to protect yourself from future taxes. You want to have investments in other places to participate in, growing markets. What I think sometimes people do is they get into the romance of the offshore business and the idea that there are some great secrets where if only you set up your company on that far-flung island, and if only you get someone else to put their name on it, that you can accomplish the goals that you don't really need to go through all that rigmarole to accomplish. In fact, the real secret when it comes to offshore secrets is, number one, that there is no secret. But more realistically, the secret is that people don't know about this stuff and they don't know how to use it properly. It is hidden in plain sight. And what I mean by that is that so many people who first start researching the stuff that we talk about, they'll come to us and they'll say, I have been looking at your resources for months or even for years in some cases, and when I first started, I figured I was going to be doing something illegal. And there are things that you could do that are illegal. Setting up a company, having someone else be the owner, you're living in your home country where you're supposed to be paying taxes on companies that you own and control, and having someone else pretend that they're the owner and just siphoning off cash. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. There are shady tactics that are promoted on forums, and I see people, going around desperately, posting and, comments and forum posts and looking for answers to, how they can hide their money or how they can, have the UBO, the ultimate beneficiary owner, hidden, or how they can pull some kind of trick or some kind of scam or take part in some kind of fad that will work quickly to get away with something. And so I think that perhaps the secret that most people don't know about is that you don't have to have a trick or a scam or a fad. you can legally go where you're treated best by incorporating overseas, investing overseas, banking overseas, being a citizen overseas or a resident overseas. But here's the part that people miss as part of that hidden in plain sight secret. And it really revolves around the quote that if you want things in your life to change, you have to change the things in your life. If you want your taxes to go down, you can't just sit in the United States or sit in Canada or sit in Australia and just, hope that they go down because you set up a company in Belize. It doesn't work that way. They figured that one out. And sure, there are people who promote the idea that, oh, come on, if you don't own it, we'll have this stooge own it. They've pretty much figured that one out, okay? There are people who will go out and they'll say, well, I'm a Canadian citizen living in Canada, but I got this St. Lucia passport, and then I come back to Canada and somehow now I'm St. Lucian, and I'm not really living in Canada because I'm just a St. Lucian. It doesn't work like that either. People want to argue perhaps, but the secret is you have to change the things in your life. If you want to save tax, you want to follow my tax-friendly quadrant. Unless you're Apple or Starbucks or one of our handful of billionaire clients, you have to personally live overseas. You may want to have employees overseas. Your company needs to be overseas. Now, most of the people we work with are not billionaires, right? Obviously, a billionaire is a pretty complex structure. But for the average person who's just the average entrepreneur, you have to make some changes to your life if you want to save money on taxes. Doesn't mean you have to give up your citizenship. Doesn't mean you can never come back to your country to visit. But it means that you can't sit around doing exactly the same life that you're doing right now. If you want to get a second citizenship, you've got to change something. Now, you may not have to change how much you work. You may be able to get a citizenship by investment. You fill out a stack of paperwork. You can hire somebody like us to fill that out for you. And, you file your citizenship by investment application in St. Lucia. They'll send you the passport. But what's the change? Well, your bank account's going to be, $100,000 plus some fees lighter. Right? If you don't want to do that, then you might need to go and visit a country and set up a residence permit and spend a little bit of time there or a lot of time there. You may have to go through your family tree and, dig and, spend years figuring out, birth certificates from Aunt Ida in, Germany and going to town halls in small, parts of the country you've never heard of, right? So there's always work involved. That's the secret I think people don't know about. And so, trying to, follow some kind of secrets where there's, hidden stuff. Listen, this stuff is generally hidden from the public because the average person, number one, doesn't like it because they don't like people like you getting an advantage. They don't like people like you saving money. They don't like your success. They don't like the fact that you have options and they don't. Most people operate like crabs in a bucket. So the fact that most people don't like this means the media can go out and demonize it, even if it's not true. But most people just don't know these options are available. But that's really the only secret. There are no tricks, there are no hacks. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Can you pay 0% tax? Yeah, you can. But you have to change something in your life. Unless you already live in Monaco or Dubai, you've got to make some changes. And so that really is the secret. I know there's a certain sex appeal to peddling the things that they don't want you to know about. And I understand that. The more mature that I become in this business, the more straightforward I want to be. Here's what you need to do. It either works for you or it doesn't. My advice, don't look for the tricks or the hacks or the secrets or the shortcuts. Focus on legally going where you're treated best with a holistic plan that covers all the aspects of where you are, where your business is, where your finances are. You can put all those pieces together without having to resort to secrets. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.